just a second. Publishing. Should be good. Just a second. Are we live yet? I know. I shaved my face. It's actually ridiculous. All right, I believe we are officially live finally. That took a lot longer than usual. What is everybody up to today? Welcome. Will, what's up, my dude? What's up, Will? We litty, man. We're getting going today. Stop treating your anxiety like a monster. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Interesting title. We litty, Will. How you doing, man? How you doing, man? Welcome. Seasonal Mommy, what is up? Welcome. It's been a while. It has been a while, so we're going to give it a few minutes before we jump straight into the point of today's stream, as we always do. YouTube is most of the time fashionably late with sending out notifications for some reason. John, what's up, dude? Welcome. Let's go ahead and let our Discord chat know that we are live. All right. Let's see. There we go. What is everybody up to? So glad to actually catch you live. Happy to have you here, man. Like, I don't know, that notification bell's weird, right? It's weird. Happy to be here. Perfect topic. Welcome. Hello, Sanchez. What's up, dude? Welcome. Also, thank you so much for the ton of follows we've been getting recently on the Twitch channel. I truly appreciate that. That is awesome. We've already got a good handful of people in here. About 2 minutes into this. What time is it? Oh, it's still fairly early. Wayne, what is up, dude? It's good to see all of you guys today. So, let's see. About 3 minutes into it, let's go ahead and knock out the point of today's stream, which is stop treating your anxiety like a monster. Now, this is a big one, all right? This all comes back, and let's fade out this music here nice and slow. There we go. This all comes back, all right, to, where is that? Okay, there we go. This all comes back to second fear, all right? Finally got it out. This all comes back to second fear. Stop treating your anxiety like a monster. Now, I'm going to do this a bit differently today, and I'm going to start off with giving an example from my own personal experience. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to start off by giving an example from my own personal experience. So when I say stop treating your anxiety like a monster, now back when I went through several bouts of severe sensitization and anxiety pretty much controlled my life, I always viewed my anxiety like a monster. And that perspective is what caused me to suffer unnecessarily. That perspective is what kept my nerves on edge, is what kept them popping off. So when I say I seen it like a monster or treated it like a monster, back in the day, anytime I had feelings start to come on, and I knew there were anxiety symptoms, my first go-to thought, really, most of the time, was, oh no, here we go again, or oh God, here it is, right? I would turn it into something outside of me, like some sort of monster. Here it is, it's back, and then we would kind of just spiral from there, and that's how most people do it, right? It starts with the symptoms come on, whether that's due to an entertained negative thought or whether that's due to just being sensitized or, whatever the case may be. A symptom starts to come on, and there it is. I feel it, and automatically my perspective is, oh God, here it comes, or there it is, or I don't want to feel this way, or here we go again. It's automatically some sort of negative perspective. It's automatically some sort of negative viewpoint, and from there you just really start to spiral because the more oh my gods you add, the more oh no's you add, all right, the more fear you're adding to the situation, and you really start to psych yourself out. And I'm putting the blame on you here. All right, you have to take responsibility for this. I'm putting the blame on you here. The more oh my gods you add, the more you just start to spiral out of control because really this all comes down to perspective. It really all comes down to a perspective. Not adding second fear, in a nutshell, basically means change your perspective from one of fighting resistance and judging in a negative way to this is not so bad. This is not so bad. I'm making this out to be some sort of monster that it isn't, and I'm doing this to myself. And you do have to take responsibility for that. So, it's very important that instead of looking at your anxiety as some sort of monster, some sort of awful thing, that you look at your symptoms as just symptoms, that you look at your symptoms for what they are and nothing more. Right? And when I say for what they are and nothing more, I mean truly, you have to realize that deeply. You have to get in there and actually look at your symptoms for what they are. Okay, there's that feeling in my chest, there's that feeling in my body, there's that, single it out. There's that feeling in my arm, there's that feeling, whatever the case may be. You really have to get in there and look at your symptoms for what they truly are instead of what your mind is making them out to be, what your mind is making them out to be some sort of monster. And this is second fear. This is second fear. And a lot of people think, oh, oh, I'm not adding second fear. I'm using acceptance. I'm using the two main keys. I'm not arguing with my thoughts. I'm accepting my thoughts and not getting involved. I'm accepting my feelings and not getting involved. A lot of people think they're doing that. But at the end of the day, they still have these very negative perspectives and they're still making their symptoms out to be something horrible instead of just experiencing them for what they are, which is a symptom. So, it all comes back to what is your perspective? Are you treating your anxiety like some sort of monster? If you are, that is the problem right there. That is the second fear, and that is the main reason that you suffer. Feelings come in and they're totally neutral until we start to put some sort of negative label on them. And it's when you put that negative label on them and that negative perspective on them that you really, really begin to spiral out of control and cause your own suffering. Symptoms come in, and I'm not saying they're the most comfortable thing in the world, but without the negative labels, judgments, and perspectives, and without the what if thinking that you entertain, they're really not that bad. They're really not that bad. I'm not underlying anybody here, but what I am saying is the main cause of your suffering is you. The main cause of your suffering is the mind game that you continue to play, not the feelings themselves. And you really have to realize that. You have to contemplate that, and you really have to think about that. Because for the longest time, I didn't want to take responsibility for my own recovery, and I constantly kept myself in this hamster wheel of fear, right? Which led to my nerves becoming more and more and more and more tired. And it wasn't until I really started to take responsibility for the fact that I was playing this mind game that was causing this unnecessary suffering that I started to realize, hey, you're responsible for your own recovery. And you've got to take charge in this. You've got to take charge in this. And you have to stop playing that mind game. So stop treating your anxiety like a monster. It's not a monster, and the symptoms, while uncomfortable, are not anywhere near, I promise you, not anywhere near as bad as your mind is making them out to be, as bad as your resistance is making them out to be. You are making essentially a mountain out of a molehill. And I know some people hear that and they automatically jump into that negative state of mind. They automatically get sucked right back into that mind game and then tell themselves, he doesn't understand. My symptoms are so bad. I get that. This is coming from a guy who pissed in bottles for a long time. But understand, you only get to the point where it's so bad that you're pissing in bottles because of what you're doing to yourself with the mind game that you're playing. All right? And that's what you have to understand. That's what you really have to understand. All right? You have to understand that. You only get so bad because you continue to play these mind games. The symptoms alone are not enough to put you that far down in the hole. The symptoms alone are not enough to make you suffer as tremendously as you are suffering. It all comes back to this mind game that you're playing. All right, you guys, and that is the point of today's stream. Stop treating your anxiety like a monster. All right, so we're going to get into some comments. I hope someone takes something from this stream and uses it. D-Block, what is up, dude? Mia, what is up? Hope you're having a good day, Wonder Bro. I am vibing. Thank you for asking. Hey, Wonder Bro, so glad to catch a live stream. It's been a while. Much love to you. Hello, Mary. Excalibur, damn, I just woke up. I feel like I'm going insane. I'm crying as I write this. I've had anxiety all my life for 45 years. Understand, like we were saying in the point of this stream, that if you've had anxiety for that long, there's a good chance you continue to play the mind game. So we need to step out of that mind game. We need to realize that fear is always based on what's going to happen next. Fear is always based on what might happen because of. Fear is always a step ahead of us, and we never get there. So we're suffering over these lies, these perspectives, this mind game, right? We just need to come into reality and accept our feelings for what they are instead of what the mind is making them out to be. That is what we have to do. We have to stop playing that mind game. We have to stop playing that mind game. Yes, exactly, John. Don't feed it. I like that comment. If you don't feed it, it will go away. You have to stop feeding into the mind. You have to stop giving it its attention that it so desperately wants, and you just have to start living in reality, right? You just have to start living in reality. If you're having trouble with the stream, it's not on my end. It's been a YouTube thing for a while now. Just refresh the page. Refresh the page. Come back. I don't know why it's been doing that, but I'm green all across the board on my end, so I'm not really sure what's up with that. I just got around to reading Claire Weeks' books, and I highly recommend them for anyone dealing. Oh yeah, Claire Weeks is awesome. Claire Weeks is awesome. We've spoke a lot about Claire Weeks here on the channel. Highly, highly recommend. Highly recommend. So in your case, let's say, for example, John Ward, we step into your shoes for a second. All right, Leah, thank you so much for subscribing. We step into your shoes for a second, John Ward, and we can see without even actually having to step into your shoes that your mind is going crazy right now. It's always based on something that might happen next. Oh God, I'm feeling these feelings. What's going to become of this, right? So you can take someone who's in the full blown swing of anxiety and panic symptoms, and if you just look into their mind for a second, you'll see that even though they're in the full blown swing of anxiety and panic symptoms, their mind is still about what might happen next, what might happen because, what might happen if I can't get this to stop, what might happen if, what might happen next. So it's not so much that you're experiencing symptoms that's causing your suffering as it is where the mind is. And that's very important to understand. Very important to understand. It's not so much that you're experiencing symptoms, because a lot of people use that as a cop out, right? Like, I'm experiencing symptoms now. How can you tell me that this is a mind problem? You might be experiencing symptoms now, and I'm not saying that you're not. You might be, but if you could step into your mind, I could tell you that your mind is always going to be directed at what might happen next, what might happen because of these symptoms, what might happen if, what might happen, and it keeps going and going and going. So your fear is always based on something that's not currently happening now. You might be experiencing symptoms now, but that's not the main cause of your suffering. The main cause of your suffering is what might happen next, what might happen because of this, what might happen due to these feelings. So that's why we say you got to stop playing the mind game. You got to stop treating your anxiety symptoms like a monster. The anxiety symptoms alone are not the monster. They're not what's causing you to suffer. What's truly causing you to suffer is the mind game that you continue to play over these symptoms, right? That's what's really causing the gas on the fire here. That's what's really causing the suffering, the fear, is the mind game that you play, and you have to understand that. You have to understand that. You can be in a full swing of anxiety and panic symptoms. That's not what's causing your suffering. What is causing your suffering is where you're going with your mind, what you're playing with your mind, the mind games that you're participating in. And, that's why we say the two main keys in a nutshell: accept your symptoms, all right, for what they are, and don't play that mind game. Don't follow those thoughts. Just be present to the moment, because playing the mind game is what's causing you to truly suffer here. That's what's causing you to truly suffer here. And we need people to understand that on a deep level. Thank you for helping me last week. My anxiety and depression are on my way to recovery, and you helped me a lot. Will forever be grateful. I'm so happy to hear that. It's awesome. Congrats. You're welcome. Thank you, Leah. What to do with beliefs that have been with you for a long time. So a belief is just a thought you continue to think. Mm, that was sweet. That was sweet. That's soul food right there. So let's say that again. A belief is just a thought that you continue to think. That's delicious. A belief is just a thought that you continue to think. So if you want to get out of limiting beliefs, you have to stop playing the mind game. You see how this all comes back to the two main keys? Accepting the way you feel, because that's not the real problem. The real problem is the mind game you keep playing, right? Stop playing the mind game. The thoughts are tricking you, right? So accept the way you feel, all right? And stop playing the mind game, because the mind game is what's causing the suffering. The mind game that you continue to play is what's keeping your nerves tired. When at the end of the day, it's okay to experience the symptoms. They're not a problem. It's okay to have these thoughts as long as you don't log in and start to play this mind game that leads to the spiral down the rabbit hole. You see what we're saying? So what we're getting at is you should accept the feelings for what they are, and you should accept the thoughts without logging in, without playing the mind game, right? It all comes back at the end of the day, the two main keys. And I really want to stress the two main keys are perfect for anybody, whether you're dealing with sensitization or not. The two main keys are truly what's going to help you live a better life overall. Whether we're talking about trying to heal our nerves or not, the two main keys is something we should practice every single day as human beings, right? So, beautiful. Beautiful. We can get some more music going now. We're good now. Yeah, if you're experiencing problems with the stream, just refresh your page. It should fix it. Should fix it, no problem. All right, 2 seconds, guys. I got to run across the room real quick. Ugh. All right. You know I had to get a smoke. The stream came at the perfect time. Definitely needed to hear this. That's awesome, Jess. Um, do you have any ideas on how to stop playing the mind game, Wonder Bro? I found that very, very difficult. So a lot of people do, and a lot of people do, and that is the main problem with the world right now. We're all playing a mind game, and that mind game makes us suffer, right? Whereas if we were just neutral to the world and the way that we feel, and we allowed, these feelings to happen, and we stopped playing the dreadful, fearful, negative mind game, we could live in the moment and we'd be much better off. But how do we do that? How do we do that? That could be difficult for a lot of people. So I'm going to give you my favorite exercise. Words are difficult today. I'm going to give you my favorite exercise to start practicing coming into the moment and logging out of that mind game and just letting those thoughts come and go as they will instead of logging in, right? Two main keys: accepting the thoughts, accepting the feelings, stop getting involved. So here's a good exercise for you. Pick a sound, all right? Pick a sound that's around you in your environment. I like to pick one that's constant. That way it's not switching up too much. Pick a sound, one sound, and place your focus and attention there. So you're totally focused on that sound, right? You can still multitask, you can still go about your day, you can still get shit done, but your attention and focus is on that one sound. You're rooted now, you are anchored now in reality. Therefore, you've taken the focus and attention away from the mind game, and you've placed it on something that's real, and that's now, right? And right there, you've cut off a lot of the fuel that the mind needs to continue to go on this rampage, right? And it might take practice. You might see that you catch yourself slipping like, oh shit, I've been entertaining and playing the mind game for the past 30 minutes. I didn't even realize it. That's fine. That's probably going to happen. It's probably going to happen if you're just starting out on this. That's fine. Don't beat yourself up. Just remind yourself and then come back to the reality. Come back to the moment. Come back to your anchor, right? So thought's still there. It's still coming in and out sometimes. It you know, may knock loud at times. That's fine. But you're no longer placing your full focus and attention on the mind game. It's now in reality. So you've cut the fuel in half right there. And now from this point, it just takes practice. It just takes practice. And, I can sit here and try to explain it all day long, but you're going to learn the most if you just start. You're going to learn the most from that exercise if you just start applying it today and give it a go. You're going to make a lot of realizations. So that's probably the easiest form of coming into the present moment that I can think of, and it's by far my favorite. It's by far my favorite. There, they do just go away eventually. This is how you retrain your brain to not let those thoughts have any power when they come back later. Yes, so thought comes in and out all the time, right? But it's whether or not you log in that makes the difference. And to help yourself, to keep yourself from logging in, stay rooted in that reality, right? Hey, bro, I've been on my 8-month recovery and now I've been dealing with an ear infection that makes feel off balance. And the 2 doses of antibiotics has messed up my stomach and feel very anxious at times. So you're dealing with an ear infection. You feel off balance. None of these symptoms alone are enough to cause suffering, right? True suffering. True suffering as in spiraling out of control down the fearful rabbit hole, right? So just stick to the two main keys. Stay rooted in reality. Accept these things as they come, and don't play the mind game over them, because that mind game, that's going to be your true root cause of suffering right there, not what you're dealing with. Because when you're dealing with it, you're dealing with it. You're too busy dealing with it, okay? If you've got an actual real problem, you're too busy dealing with it to be that fearful. If you're trying to fight off ghosts, which is what you're doing when you log into the mind, you can't really bring that to an end. You just got to stop playing the game. There's no way that you can deal with a problem of the mind because it is a problem of the mind, right? Any tips on how to be present in a conversation with a group of people? I get bad anxiety and dizziness when I'm being social. The sound thing hasn't worked for me. Then you need to continue to practice. The sound thing, it's not that it's going to work for a limited number of people, but it's not going to work for you because you're special in some way. I don't mean this in a mean way. You're not special. So what you need to do is you need to continue to understand and practice what I teach, right? With the staying present. Continue to practice focusing on that anchor. Pick an anchor and continue to bring the full focus and attention there. All right, because that cuts the fuel off from the mind, right? And you need to continue to practice that. Now, at first, it may not seem like it's working. It may seem like it's just too hard for you. It's not for you. You can't do it. There's something wrong with me. Whatever. Those are all just more thoughts. Those are all just more thoughts. Even the thought, if you wanted to go a little bit deeper, even the thought of it won't work for me or hasn't worked for me is just another thought that you're logging into, that you're choosing to log into, right, and believe when it is just a thought. So be aware of that. The mind is tricky. It'll tell you it's not going to work for you or hasn't worked for you or won't work for you. These are just more thoughts that you're choosing to log into, right? Thank you, Moji, for that. I love that video. Logging into the mind. I love that. How do I deal with a friend who is invalidating my anxiety and depression? Wonder Bro, thanks. So, if your friend is invalidating your anxiety, depression, if you don't feel valued, if you feel like they're not, listening to what you have to say, whatever the case may be, step away. There's nothing you have to prove. There's nothing you have to go out of your way to get someone to believe you about. Another human being's perspective of you, okay, shouldn't be that important. And I know it is. I know it is because it's your friend, it's somebody you're close to, it's somebody you love. But at the end of the day, you don't have to go out of your way, right? You don't have to go out of your way to prove yourself to anybody. And if they're not willing to listen, they're just not willing to listen. And there's nothing you can do about that, and that's okay. Acceptance. Again, we come back to acceptance being key here. And it may be unfortunate that they invalidate you in some way or another, but that's fine. There's nothing we can do about that. There's nothing we can do about that. We can't convince somebody to do what's right. We can't convince somebody to believe this or that. They're going to believe what they want to believe. And you can do your best, but at that point, if it's just not working, if your efforts are going to waste, just step away. Just step away. There's no point to stress yourself out over what somebody else believes, right? And a lot of that, I hold that perspective to be true even here on the channel. If somebody's not willing to learn, if somebody's not willing to listen, there's nothing I can do about that, right? And I had to learn that a long time ago. You've got people, and you can talk to them and talk to them and talk to them, and they just don't want to put in the work. They just don't want to do what you know they need to do. You can focus your efforts elsewhere. At that point, you just need to move on and focus on somebody who will listen to you, somebody who will validate you. You just need to move on. Step out of the situation. How you doing, Sanchez, bro? Oh, I've got my desktop audio muted. may do some Twitch streaming, by the way, later. Maybe. Maybe. Let's go ahead and grab that link. Where are we at? Where are we at? I got the wrong tab pulled up. There we go. There is the link to that. If anyone is interested in that, you don't even have to be into video games, right? We still just hang out over there and chat. Wonder Bro, do you not find smoking increases your anxiety? It does me, but I'm coming off them as absolutely horrific. So, if you believe that smoking is going to increase your anxiety, it will. And if you believe that not smoking is going to increase your anxiety, it will. Whatever you believe is going to happen, right? Because you're essentially convincing your body by the thoughts that you entertain in your mind that there's some sort of real danger present, right? And a belief is very, very, very powerful, and it can cause all sorts of changes to your body. So if you believe that smoking will increase your anxiety, it definitely will, because of that thought that you've entertained. That's what is increasing your anxiety, is the negative thought that you're entertaining. Not reality, not the fact that you're smoking. And if you believe that not smoking will increase your reality, it definitely, or increase your anxiety, it definitely will, because you're entertaining that thought, and that thought, a negative thought, it doesn't matter what the negative thought is about, is seen by the body as a real danger. So, if you believe that not smoking will increase your anxiety, it will. At the end of the day, though, it's not reality that's causing you to suffer. It's the mind games that you're playing. And I'm not saying that anxiety symptoms don't exist. They do. But when you're playing that mind game, that's what's causing the true suffering right there. Not so much the feelings that come. It's always the interpretations. It's always the mind game that you're playing because of the feelings. It's always the mind game that is a step ahead of you that's causing your suffering. Not truly reality, not truly this moment, not truly the feelings that you feel, but the mind game that you're playing. So I hope that makes sense. Beliefs are very, very powerful, and they're very powerful because the brain does not know the difference between a thought and a dangerous reality, right? Jake, thank you for the follow over on, I believe that's on Twitch, right? I'm not sure. I think that was a Twitch notification. Thank you, Jake. I appreciate it, man. You're awesome. How many followers are we up to over on Twitch now? I don't even know. Oh, it's gonna ask me to put in a code. Does this every time. In fact, a good example of that, John, back when I was sensitized, I smoked more than I do now, which is saying something. All right, it's a pretty strong habit. Back when I was sensitized, I smoked even more than I do now. We're talking like 2, 3 packs a day, and I did that because I thought smoking made my anxiety feel better. I thought that smoking soothed my anxiety, therefore I smoked 2 or 3 packs when I was sensitized a day. And I did that because I had the belief that smoking soothed my anxiety. Therefore, it did, because that's what I believed. Therefore, that was the mind game that I was playing. So understand, it's not really the reality that's causing the feelings. It is the mind game, because the brain and the body, they're always taking every single thought that you entertain as reality. It doesn't know any better. They don't know any better. And then it gives you the corresponding feeling, right? So whatever you believe is going to determine a lot of how you feel. Not so much reality, because you can find a solid argument for either side. You can have people that say not smoking is going to help you feel so much better as far as anxiety is concerned, and at the same time you can find people that say smoking helps your anxiety and soothes you so much. Oh God, I can't live without smoking. It soothes my anxiety so much. So you can find a side to either argument, and it just comes down to a belief. It really just comes down to a belief. Olivia, what's up? Gabe, what's up, dude? So where's this Twitch login code? There we go. I don't know why I've got to put this in every single time. So yeah, the mind game gets complicated with beliefs, and who knows what's right and what's wrong, and these thoughts are causing your feelings, and you're just playing this mind game, and you're spiraling out of control, and you're down the rabbit hole, and one minute you're this way, one minute you're that way. You got to stop playing the mind game. You got to stop playing the mind game. Reality is fine. Whatever reality might be, you either have a problem that you actively have to deal with. By the way, your feelings are not a problem. You either had a problem that you have to actively deal with, right? Or you're suffering from imagination. Oh, I'm getting an echo. I'm getting that twice. I'm getting that twice. Sanchez, thank you so much for dude. The thank you so much for that, dude. I appreciate that. Sanchez with the $20 dono says thanks for the great advice. We're always looking for reassurance with this anxiety. One day you won't look for that reassurance. I promise you. One day you'll get to the point where you won't need reassurance. I promise. I promise. All right, one day you'll get there. Thank you so much for that $20 dono, dude. I truly, truly appreciate that. That helps me out a ton. Your name is back up in the tip ticker, and you are going on the stream MVP. Everybody give Sanchez a round of applause. I can't, words are hard today. A round of applause in the chat, please. Thanks to our generous donators here, we're able to do this full time. So thank you so much, Sanchez, man. I appreciate it. Stream MVP. I will get back to reading the chat in just a second. Just a second. Apparently typing is hard for me to do today too. Sanchez, thank you so much, dude. I finally asked a girl out. I'm anxious about it. Are these thoughts not more valuable because they might be true? See, that's a big one. That is a big one. I'm so glad you asked that. A lot of people use that as a cop-out, but these thoughts might be true. They might happen. There's a good possibility that this girl's going to tell me no. There is a good possibility that my worry about 2 months from now might come true. There is a good possibility that these things might happen. Again, you're still suffering from imagination, though. These things haven't happened, and they might. But when they do, you can deal with it. And it's no longer an issue because you can deal with it however you can, whatever that may be, whatever choices you have, given that problem even does come to life, which it more than likely 90% of the time doesn't. But let's say it does, it's no longer a problem because you can deal with it however you can deal with it. So in life, you have two things. You have problems that actively need to be dealt with, and you can deal with them, and you're too busy dealing with them to suffer because you're too busy dealing with them, because that's what real problems do. They force you to act. You're too busy acting to suffer, so that's what we call a real problem. And then in life, we've got the human condition, the human problem that 99% of people suffer from, which is trying to deal with imagination, which is trying to figure out imaginary problems, which leads to a feeling of anxiety because the body thinks your imagination is a real threat, something that's actually happening now. It leads to feelings of anxiety in the body, which leads to more stress, which leads to more anxiety. So that's the two things that you've got going on here. You've either got real problems that you can deal with, and that's fine because you're too busy dealing with them for them to be a real problem anymore, because you're dealing with them. Or you're trying to figure out imaginary problems, which can do nothing but lead to feelings of anxiety, and there's never a solution because it's not an actual problem. If I had a mic, I would drop it. If I had a microphone, I would drop it. Long time no see, kept missing the lives. What's up, Olivia? How can I change a belief? Okay, so to change a belief, John, a belief is just a thought you continue to think. You step out of playing the mind game, dude, and when those thoughts come, you just let them be there so they can be here, and you're aware of them being there, but you're no longer participating. That's a good word for it. You're no longer participating, right? And the more you stop participating, the more those thoughts lose power. How can I donate? If you would like to donate, there's a link in the description. I think you just have to close out the live chat. It is the first link there. It says donate, or you can go directly through the PayPal. Either way. If you go directly through the PayPal, it doesn't do like the fancy notification and all that good stuff. But either way, you don't have to do that, but that's how you do that. Just want to say that I currently have anxiety, but I tried acceptance years ago and it works. I had anxiety, agoraphobia, and depression, and it all went away. Claire Weeks saved my life. Yes, we love Claire Weeks here on the channel. We talk about her often. Pretty normal reaction, just enjoy the experience. Yes, exactly. Great job, friend. I appreciate that. Our ego likes to step in and keep us comfortable in any way possible. Have to smooth it out with mindfulness, acceptance, and good vibes. Love it. So mindfulness is just a fancy word for meditation. Meditation is just a fancy word for being present. Being present is just a fancy word for stop participating in your thoughts. Love your energy today. We're trying to keep that high energy today. We're trying to keep that high energy today. Will with the $40 dodo. Daily tip goal, too easy. Why am I getting an echo? Why is it playing twice? You guys hear that? Okay, it works. Will, thank you so much, dude. Truly, that helps me out a ton. You guys are awesome. Sanchez, Will, thank you so much, guys. I truly appreciate you. I truly, truly appreciate you. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. I'm helping my mom actually afford a surgery for her teeth, and that's what a lot of that money is going to go towards. So thank you so much for that. I truly appreciate it. Will, Sanchez, you guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. Thank you. We have such a nice community here. Everybody's so loving and wants to help each other out, and I love it. Hi, Vacate Fear. I'm a long-term subscriber, brother. I'm facing anxiety related to my relationship, which is online, and my mind keeps diverting me from what is right now and present. So, whatever it is you're dealing with in your life, you need to come back to what I said earlier. There's two things that can be happening at any given moment, which is a real problem that you actually need to face, and you'll know when that happens, right? Because you'll have to face it, you'll have to do something about it because it's a real problem. Or there's the mind game that you're playing. Chances are you're playing that mind game, and you're creating ghosts, and then you're trying to fight those ghosts. You can't fight a ghost. What happens if you try to fight a ghost? You just get scared. The ghost just scares the shit out of you, but your punches aren't doing shit. It's just going straight through them, right? And that's essentially what you're doing when you create problems in your mind and then try to fight them off. You just got to step out of the ring. You got to stop trying to fight those ghosts. You got to stop creating those ghosts by not playing the mind game. And then if you have already created those ghosts, stop fighting them and they'll eventually go away. Thank you, Will. Thank you, Sanchez. You guys are awesome, dude. I truly appreciate that. That helps me out a ton. Glad everybody is enjoying the stream. We had an excellent stream yesterday, an excellent stream today. I'm loving the energy here as of late, and hopefully we can keep that going. I appreciate it. I'm going to drop that Twitch link again. Like I said, you don't even have to be into gaming. If you just enjoy hanging out with everybody, you can still give us a follow over on Twitch. That way, when we're not streaming here, you might be able to catch us over there. If I can find that link. Let's grab that link. Hi, I came to this channel about a week ago, so I'm new here, but I already like your videos. That is awesome. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Alright, so let's get that. Let's get that Twitch link real quick. I remember reading a book years ago, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Avoidance behavior keeps it going. Exactly, and it does. That's true. Acceptance is all about dropping that avoidance behavior, letting ourselves feel the way we feel, letting those thoughts come and go without getting involved. And a lot of people say, well, if I don't get involved with the thoughts, isn't that like me denying them? No, if you get involved, then you start fighting. And fighting is the opposite of acceptance. So with true acceptance, we accept our thoughts, we accept our feelings, and we stop getting involved with any of it. I love the explanation, brother. Thank you so much. I got another question. I'm young. I will donate you later. I promise. You don't have to donate to ask questions, guys. You do not have to donate to ask questions. All right? In fact, we get a few donations about every stream, but most of the questions come to people who don't donate, and that's fine. You do not have to donate or feel obligated to donate to ask your questions. I am here to help you to the best of my ability because I know how it feels to feel like shit and it doesn't feel good. So understand that. I love the explanation. I got another question. Okay, what's your question? What's your question? Let's go. Let's go. This is not Mountain Dew. It used to be Mountain Dew. This is water. I'm using it as a water jug. Oh, that's good. That's good. Keep that in mind, guys. I want you to see next time you start to feel anxious where your mind goes. That's my mission for you. That's my goal for you. Next time you start to feel an anxiety symptom, I want you to then focus in on your mind and see where it goes. I guarantee it goes to something about what might happen next. It's not so much about the feeling that just came and that you're currently experiencing. guarantee your mind is focused on what might happen next. And it always is. Therefore, you're always suffering over imagination, something that's not happening. No matter how intense or strong your feelings may be, I guarantee your mind is still aimed about what might happen next. And that's where the true source of suffering is, right there. And that tells us that you're always suffering over something that's not happening. Your fear may be based on something that's happening, but it's still based on what might happen next or what might happen because. And that's something you need to realize on a deep level. All right, one second here. 1 second here. Ugh. I hope when I do that, you guys that can't see me, because then you would see a lot of butt crack every time I get up. A lot of butt crack. I will get to your question in just a second. I could just switch to the BRB screen, like that's why we have that, but oh well. I'm actually trying to fix myself, and I want to say one thing. I've never ever found such a good person like you. How can I explain you my situation? Can I DM you on Instagram? You can try. I'm really shitty with checking my social media. Your best bet is probably to catch me live and ask your question like now. That's probably your best bet, to be honest. How do you manage stressing over a loved one's health issue? Understand that your stress is not helping. Understand that your stress is not helping you, and it's definitely not helping them. Because the last thing somebody wants to see that's ill is somebody stressing out. That just makes them stress out more. So understand how futile your stress really is, and come back to those two main keys. You guys can't see me when I do this, right? Like you can't see me right now? That might just be on my end, and you can still see me. I don't know. Can you see me? What can I do when I have a headache because of anxiety? Acceptance. Acceptance. I mean, you might take like a pain reliever. I'm not a doctor, but you know, if you got something like that laying around. Chat, can you see me? No? Yes? We cannot. Okay, cool. Now I know that that works. I wasn't so sure before. But yeah, as far as physical pain goes, I mean, you could take like a pain reliever. I mean, if you've got something like that laying around or whatever. I'm not a doctor, so take a Tylenol. Is that what a Tylenol does? I don't even know. I'm a pillophobe, dude. I won't take any sort of pill, even if it's just a Tylenol. I've always been that way. I'll just deal with the pain. Probably not smart, but that's how you know I'm a pillophobe. I don't even know what a Tylenol does, really. So it's a pain reliever, right? Sorry, we're getting ads over here. There we go. The song's a little bit too turnt for me. There we go. I used to be a little pill goblin. Pills are so cool. Yikes. Not really, dude. What? What do you mean by that? Elaborate on that. I used to be a little pill goblin. Pills are so cool. No, not really. Not really. Not exactly. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with taking medication if you've got a physical illness. Obviously, do what your doctor tells you to do. Um, Pills for recreational use, not a fan. That ruins a lot of lives. Uh, Pills for recreational use, not a fan. That's a very, very terrible choice. You're going down a very, very rough, bad path, and you are going to suffer tremendously because of that. You are going to suffer tremendously if you choose to use really any sort of drug for recreational use. You will have to pay that price later on down the road. Kate, thank you so. Wow. Holy crap, Kate. $40 dono. Thank you so much for helping others. I am confident that I have healed thanks to the two main keys. That is awesome to hear, Kate. Thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. You guys are so generous today. You guys are always so generous. Thank you so much for that. Wow. Wow. $100? I love you guys. Thank you so much. Truly, I appreciate every single one of you. Every single one of you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Excalibur, I'm not jumping on you, bro. I'm really not jumping on you and trying to be like your fucking dad. I'm just letting you know it's not a good idea to get involved in pills for recreational use. They are very addictive, most pills, and you're gonna have to pay the price for that down the road, and it's not worth it, dude. If you're experimenting with anything like that, you seem like a young guy. Cut that shit out. I'm telling you. If you think you experience anxiety now, you wait till you go into withdrawal. I'm not saying you do that. I'm just elaborating. This is a public service announcement for anybody who's thinking about experimenting with pills for recreational purposes. Don't do it. It's a bad idea. I don't have experience personally with it, but I've seen it a lot in my life. I've seen it a lot in my life, and it's very, very sad. It was such an eye-opener to find out that anxiety is really designed to help you. Yes, I had always thought that it was a monster. Yeah, and that's where the problem begins, right? Because that's where all that second fear starts flooding in. I had another question because this is my big issue. Sometimes my mind... Is that another ad? Wow. They are ad crazy on these music playlists. Get out of here. All right. Sometimes my mind makes thoughts about you are bad, nobody likes you, you're a failure, etc. And when this thought comes, I already feel bad. It's because it's become a belief at this point. Like, you have entertained these thoughts so much that they're pretty sticky, they're pretty strong, right? So when they come, they bring a bit of a punch. But the more you stop playing that game, okay, right, the more you start to starve them of the fuel they need to thrive, right? And the more you do this, the less likely they are to come around. They'll start to lose their power, right? They'll start to lose their power if you stop playing the mind game. Oh, I'm aware. I paid the price already. All right, yeah. Like I said, I'm not trying to lecture anybody. I'm not your dad. I can't tell you what to do. I'm just telling you it's not worth it. And I would hate to see somebody, one of my viewers that I care about so much, go down that path of drug abuse. It's not fun. It's not worth it. On depressing shit, you don't want to go down that road, bro. Yeah, nobody wants to go down that road. It might be appealing at first. It might give you a break from the mind game, and that's why we see a lot of people abuse alcohol or drugs, because it gives them a break from the mind game, right? It gives them a break from the mind game. All right. So we see a lot of people go down that road, and that's why they're doing it. They want to break from the mind game. But there's better ways to do that, like how I'm teaching you here on the channel. All right, with staying present, you can reach that place of getting a break from the mind and learning how to step outside your mind and not follow those thoughts in your head without the use of drugs or alcohol. Yeah, I'm glad you overcome that, Excalibur. I'm very proud of you. That's awesome. I make steps to enjoy your own company again. I'm scared of being alone in case I go crazy or some other bad shit happens. At one point, I was really afraid of being alone, and that's when I was severely sensitized because I thought at any moment I was about to lose my mind, which of course never comes. It's a ghost that we create and then fight with and then suffer over. So understand that. You're fighting ghosts. Understand that if there's a real problem, you can deal with it. Real problems don't really happen all that often, but if they do, you can deal with it and move on. But stop creating ghosts and then fighting with them in your head. You got to step out of that mind game. So when those thoughts come, let them be there if they want to be there, but don't log in. Don't start playing the mind game. Unplug. Unplug. They'll lose their power over you. They will lose their power over you. What's up, TJ? Again, guys, thank you so much, Will, Sanchez, Kate, for all of your donations today. $100. Wow, that is unbelievable. That is unbelievable, and that helps me a ton. Thank you so, so much. I have terrible posture, dude. Terrible posture. THC edible contributed to my anxiety disorder. Now, when we start talking about THC and marijuana, I do support marijuana because it's not bad for you. I don't think it's bad for you, right? It's not physically addictive, maybe mentally. And there's a lot of health benefits. We're starting to see that. It's becoming legal in most places now. So I support marijuana. But I'm talking about pills and other drugs. Stay away from those, please. Do yourself a favor and stay the fuck away from those. All right? But we do have a lot of people who had their first anxiety or panic attack due to marijuana, and that's because they got into a bit too strong of a high and they started to freak themselves out, and that led to a panic attack. Again, if you would have just accepted the ride, if you would have just accepted the ride and not played that mind game, all right, then maybe it would have turned into a panic attack. But that's what happens. We start adding second fear, and then it spirals out of control. We play that mind game. Is this going to be uploaded? Yes. Hi, I sent you emails several times without any response. I suck at checking email, and I suck at checking social media. If you have any questions, your best bet is to catch me live and ask them right here, right now, and I will do my best to answer them. Outside of the streams, I'm usually either on Twitch or doing life stuff, and I don't spend a whole lot of time on my phone checking emails and stuff like that. So, your best bet, if you don't want your email to go be lost and covered up, or your message to go unresponded to, your best bet is to catch me while I'm live and ask me right here. Put me on the spot right here, I'll answer your question. Yeah, I have terrible posture. Look at this. I haven't actually done a coaching session in quite some time. I've had a lot of requests for them, but honestly, most people just get all their questions answered here on the lives. So I haven't actually checked my emails for coaching sessions in quite a while. Most people just come in here and talk to me here. But I will check. I'll see if I can find your email. Also, also, for those of you who are in here who enjoy the whole chat thing, we do have a Discord. It's completely free. You don't have to pay a dime. Let me grab the link for that. If you want to join us over on the Discord, we'd love to have you. Let's see. There you go. Right there. Discord. Join us. So you say that you can heal from anxiety without pills. I took pills for 3 months and it did not help me. Maybe it made it worse. I don't give much of a comment on the whole pill thing because that's up to you, and that's, that's between you and your doctor. As far as the pill thing goes, that's completely 110% up to you and your doctor. However, I can say that I healed without pills, and that's about as far as I go with that. Yeah, if you join the Discord, just make sure that you read over the start here in the chat rules channel before you start chatting. I know most people probably don't do that. I get that, but you should. You should. You probably should. Alright, guys, I will be right back. Chat amongst yourselves. Join the Discord. The link's right there in chat, and I will be right back. All right, we are back. Sorry for the wait, chat. That took me a little bit longer than I thought it would. But we are back. What's up, everybody? Here's here's my take, all right, on relationships and love and all that good stuff. It is very hard, very difficult to find a relationship that's going to work if both people, all right, are not at least a little bit aware of the ego and the mind and the role that the ego and mind plays, right? Because if they're not at least a little bit aware of how the ego works and they are totally ego identified, that is going to be very difficult to maintain in a relationship. Because if a relationship is based on mind patterns, thought after thought that is totally identified with by the person, and they have no idea that they are not the thoughts in their head, then that makes it a bit difficult. That makes it a bit difficult. At least one of the two need to be at least a little aware of the ego and the mind in order for the relationship to go smoothly. And even with that being said, if one of the two people are aware of how the mind works and they're aware of their ego, that's great. Maybe they can help the other. But it's still going to be a bit difficult for the person who is aware, right? It's going to be a bit difficult for the person who is aware to know that their partner is totally ego identified, totally identified with the mind, and has no clue what's going on. You can do your best to try to teach your partner, give them pointers, help them to understand. I wouldn't try to force it down their throat because you're usually met by, fuck you, if you try that too hard. So I wouldn't try to force all this information down their throat. You can mention it to them. It's just very, very hard to have a successful relationship, especially if both of the two people are ego identified, because then everything becomes ego. Everything becomes mind, and this leads to a lot of problems, not just for you as a person, but for all of your relationships as well. And understand this as well. If you're trying to get into a relationship because you're lonely and you want someone to fix that loneliness, if you're trying to get into a relationship because you want somebody to make you feel a certain way, cut it off. You're already done. You're already going to fail. If your whole purpose and goal of getting into a relationship is because you are lonely or is because you want somebody to make you feel a certain way, you are putting a responsibility on another human being that is impossible to live up to. Nobody can make you feel any certain good way for too long because they're human too. And so if you come into searching for a relationship with the mindset of, I want somebody to make me feel a certain way, you're screwed. You're screwed. You're screwed, to say the least. You should never want to get into a relationship because you want somebody to make you feel happy. You should never get into a relationship because you want to try to avoid loneliness. You should only get into a relationship if you truly love someone from a place of presence, from a place of consciousness, from a place of no mind. If you just naturally love somebody and their energy and your vibe, then maybe seek something a bit more serious with a label. But if you go into it with the mindset of, this person is now responsible for making me happy, you're giving somebody a responsibility that they will never be able to live up to. And it's just not going to work. So, only get into a relationship if it's out of true love. Don't get into a relationship to cure your boredom. Don't get into a relationship to cure your loneliness. Don't get into a relationship because you want somebody to make you feel a certain way. Only get into a relationship if you truly love someone from a deep place of inner peace and satisfaction already. You need to be already satisfied and peaceful with yourself before you get into a relationship, or else you're putting a responsibility on another person that they will never be able to live up to. Ever. 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 They'll never be able to live up to that because they're human. 5,000% agree. I'm glad you guys agree. Wonder bro, you should do a live for relationships. I wish I would have known what you're saying at a younger age. I wish I would have known too. I wish I would have known too. But at the same time, I don't regret it. I've learned a lot from the people that I've been with. I've learned a lot from the failed relationships that I've been in, and I don't even consider them failed relationships because we both grew so much as people. But I mean, that's really the main thing. You can't come into a relationship with expectations for what the other person can do for you because they're not going to be able to live up to that, and they might be able to for a little while, but they won't be able to for long. So you should never go into a relationship with that expectation. Then what we would do with loneliness. Understand there's a difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is when you're sitting around in your head. Solitude is when you're sitting around by yourself in the present moment. Solitude. So there's a huge difference there. Loneliness is when you're sitting around by yourself in your head. Solitude is when you're sitting around by yourself in the present moment. Solitude is amazing. Loneliness is horrible. Are we allowed to mention the pandemic? How's it where you are, Wonder Bro? I don't mind to talk about it. It doesn't really bother me a whole lot. I mean, as long as you take precautions, it's not a problem, right? Just do what they recommend that you do, and you'll be fine. Um, how's it where you are? I live under a fucking rock, to be completely honest with you. So, I mean, I'm very, very small town life. Very, very small town, so not too many cases around here. Not a whole lot of people get out around here because there's nothing to do. So it would be kind of hard for a virus to spread rapidly in my neck of the woods. There's not a lot of social interaction around here. Wow, we have covered a lot today's stream, from acceptance and the two main keys to thoughts and present moment to relationships and the pandemic. This is a quite the grab bag we have going on here. I don't care what we talk about at this point. When the stream reaches the 1 hour mark and we're pretty much done with the point of the stream, and we're all just hanging out and chilling, listening to music, it turns into a radio show at that point, and you can just call in and ask whatever you want. We can talk about whatever you want. Doesn't matter. Even accepting I still have symptoms. I feel like there's either something seriously wrong physically or I'm going to be like this forever. Boom! Right there, your first sentence. Even accepting I still have symptoms. You're supposed to. You're supposed to. That's not what acceptance is about. And a lot of people screw themselves over with that mindset. If I start accepting, I won't have symptoms. Boom, you're done. Right there, you've already fucked up. Because the point is, with true acceptance, you're still going to have symptoms, and you will until you heal. But with true acceptance, and you're not playing the mind game anymore, you're just letting thoughts come and go, you're not logging in, you're not getting involved, you're letting feelings come and go, you're not adding second fear, you're just letting them be without judging them negatively. You're stopping the second fear, but it's still going to take some time for your nerves to heal and for those symptoms to fade away completely. So yes, you're still going to have symptoms. Understand that. A lot of people make that mistake. And I just want to make sure you're aware of that. A lot of people make that mistake. If I accept, my symptoms will go away. That's using acceptance like a pill. And that's not going to work. With true acceptance, what we're doing is changing our relationship towards the feelings to where we no longer mind to feel them, and we're not adding second fear, and then we heal. Understand that. That is huge. Huge. If you're coming into acceptance with that mindset of if I accept, the symptoms will go away, you're trying to use acceptance like a pill, and that's just not going to happen. You're still in a state of fear if you're in the mindset of how can I make this go away. Acceptance is to teach you to be okay with it. To be okay with it, and to realize that if you slow down long enough and see how the mind was getting involved and you stop playing the mind game, you'll see that the feelings weren't that bad after all. You were making them out to be something horrible, and that's what made them so scary. But on their own, without the mind game, they're not that bad. And that's what true acceptance is trying to teach you. See what we're doing there? See where we're going there? So Alex, I'm glad you said that, so that we could point that out, because a lot of people do make that mistake. I'm glad you said that, and I hope that helps. Maybe now that you've got that better understanding of what it means to accept, you'll be able to make some progress. So I'm happy you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up. I live in the city but choose to stay under a rock. Fair enough. I'm pretty antisocial myself, especially with all this going on. Work is enough for me right now. I do a few things, but I like my circles small. I love my circle small. It's not even an anxiety thing at this point. I just love my circle small. I have a few close friends that I'll actually be around, and that's about it. Because for me, the world is too ego driven to have a large group of friends. It's too much drama, it's too much bullshit. The friends I do have, they're not that ego driven in my mind. I mean, they might not go as deep into the whole spiritual thing as I do, but I choose my friends very selectively. Naturally, they're just calm people that are not so ego driven. Remember, even that comment, that acceptance is so hard for me, is a thought. To say that acceptance is so hard for me is another thought that you have logged into and now believe, and because of that you feel a sense of desperation. Do you see how the mind game plays into this so much? Do you see how the mind game plays into this? You have to be aware of that. You have to be aware of that mind game. Acceptance is not difficult. In fact, acceptance is the absence of doing anything. Acceptance is the absence of trying. And not trying and doing jack shit and just allowing the feelings and thoughts to be there is not technically difficult. What's making it difficult is the mind game that you continue to play. That's what's making it difficult. But yeah, Gabe, I completely agree. I'm an antisocial person. It's not even an anxiety thing. Even after I healed, I'm still just an antisocial person. I'd rather just be at my PC doing my own thing, right? I have a very small group of friends that I allow into my life from time to time because I just don't like negative vibes. I just can't deal with negative vibes. So I'm very selective about the people that I actually allow around me in my space. Thanks, Wonder Bro. No problem, Alex. That's a very common misconception. A lot of people look at as acceptance as a way to make the symptoms go away, and it's not that. You will heal in time, and yes, the symptoms will fade because of the healing. But true acceptance is to make you realize that the symptoms are not what your mind's making them out to be. The mind game plays into this so much. I guess getting the thoughts out of my head is what I struggle with. They just keep coming. It's okay if they come, just don't log in, right? So we can't help that thoughts come, especially at first because they're so damn sticky at first. We can't help that they come, but what we can do is make the choice to not log in. So the thought's there, but we're not going to log into that. The attention is going to go elsewhere while the thought does whatever it wants. And eventually it gets bored and it goes away, it quits knocking. So the goal is to not log in. The goal is to not jump in with that and participate in that. And that is the goal. It's not to make the thoughts go away completely, it's to starve them of your attention, and eventually as a result they will go away. So to stay rooted in the moment and just to let thoughts pass and stop chasing clouds, right? I understand that I need to accept that, but if I accept it, then I will ruin the moment. Like we laugh and then I feel bad for no reason. My other issue is when I get anxious when I'm with people. And I understand that I need to accept that. But if I accept that, then I will ruin the moment. If you were truly in the moment, you may be anxious, but it would no longer be a problem, right? So to be anxious or to experience anxiety symptoms are not an issue. The issue is that you are in your mind thinking about what might happen next or what might happen because of. Like I said, the perfect example is to take someone who's in a full swing of panic, and if you could access their mind, you would see that their mind is still based on something that might happen next. So it's not truly the feelings that are the problem. The problem is you're creating these ghosts and then following them, right, wherever they want to take you. That's the real issue here. Again, John, even the it seems really hard is another thought. So do you see in this moment, if we just take a step back here, everybody that's in this chat right now, if we just take a step back and ask ourselves, let's observe the mind for 2 seconds and let's see which direction it's going in. And you would see, John, that your mind is going in a direction of obsessing about whether I can do this right, obsessing about whether I can or can't do this, obsessing about how difficult it is, and these are all just more thoughts. The thought of it being difficult, the thought of not doing it right, the thought of never being able to get the hang of it, these are more thoughts that you're entertaining and buying into, and as a result, you're feeling more anxious because of that, you're feeling more desperate because of that. But again, these are more thoughts. So when we unplug from the mind completely, we see that these thoughts are meaningless until we log in and give them purpose. And that's the point we need you to get to. And to do that, it's very helpful if you pick an anchor, like I said earlier, maybe a sound, you put the focus in the moment, and then you can be more aware of what thoughts come and go and what thoughts you're logging into because you're rooted in reality. You've cut off the fuel that thoughts need to grow at that point as well. That's another benefit. So you can use that. You can use that anchoring method to be present, or you can just be aware of how the mind and ego works and just let it go and stop logging in. Either way, I'm just giving you tools here. But we have to get to a point where we see just how much suffering is coming from the mind game, not from the feelings that we're feeling, not specifically from the situation, but from the mind game that we're playing, right? I'm so glad to catch you live as it's 5:30 p.m. here. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you to be here, Olivia. That's awesome. That's awesome. Chat's been full today. We've sat at a solid handful of viewers all stream. That's awesome. If your goal is to get rid of anxiety, you are barking up the wrong tree. That in itself is a form of resistance. Yes, exactly. Exactly. We have to change our behavior in the face of anxiety, not the anxiety itself. Exactly. Hi, hello, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. I'm going to drop that Discord link again. Discord is completely free, guys. Doesn't cost a cent. It's just, it's our chat room if you want to join that. I think we're little over 300 users. The brain is so effing complicated, and it feels like my brain has its own brain that I can't control at all. Understand, you can't control what thoughts come and go. You can't. What you can do, and what our main goal is to step out of the ring, to stop playing the game. And if you stop playing the game, then you kind of get that sense of the control that you've been looking for. But the sense of control of getting up there and fighting with it, you won't win it that way. You won't win it that way. I have a question. Does anxiety cause off balance? Yes, that's actually a very common symptom. What's up, Blake? Hey, Wonder Bro. Finally today I've stayed present whole day at first of fear of starting acceptance, fear of what if I do it wrong and won't recover, but now I'm confronting fear and using acceptance. That is awesome. That is amazing. Our two main keys, keep them with you always. Accept the feelings for what they are and stop adding second fear to them. They're not bad. Your mind is making them out to be bad. So accept your feelings. Stop logging into the mind. Stop following thoughts. Just let thoughts come and go. That doesn't mean to react to thoughts in a bad way or to try to fight them off. No, let them come. You can't help that part. But what you can do is you can stop following them. Accept the thoughts, accept the feelings, stop getting involved with any of it, and just be here now. That's the two main keys to recovery in a nutshell. And if you just wrote even that down and followed that, you would heal. Let's keep it simple. I know I do a lot of videos and I do a lot of streams is because I like to word it different ways. I like to try to get my message across in as many different ways as possible to speak to different people that learn differently. But at the end of the day, let's keep it simple. Is that another ad? It is. For Dial Body Wash. So you can't control the thoughts that come, but what you can do is take the attention away. And when you take the attention away, you're taking away the fuel. And when you stop playing the mind game, you stop causing unnecessary suffering. Because really the mind game is the root problem here. Sensitization is what's bringing on the symptoms. Sensitization is the root problem for why you're experiencing symptoms to begin with, tired nerves. But what caused that, if we want to go even a step further back, is the fact that you played this mind game for too long. Have you ever accidentally thought about someone naked and tried to erase it? It takes forever, right? I mean, you have a point. That's a good analogy. Nova, you knocked over my light. My pretty light. There we go. This thing was supposed to cover the whole wall for streams, and it just doesn't. It just doesn't. So eventually we're getting in another mic arm, and I can use my standalone mic, which sounds 10 times better than these built-in mics on headsets. So hopefully audio quality is going to improve real soon as I get that in the mail. So look forward to that. I've heard a lot of things about the gut causing anxiety issues, but let's be honest with ourselves. Whatever's causing our anxiety, whether it be entertaining thoughts or some sort of situation or whatever the case may be, let's be honest with ourselves. At the end of the day, the main source of our suffering is the mind game that we play. The body doesn't know the difference between a dangerous reality and just negative worry, so you're going to experience even more anxiety because of that. Oh yeah, thank you. $20 dono from Media. I've been lurking for a while, so I wanted to show some support. I appreciate that, dude. Thank you so much. Holy crap. You guys have blown up the tip goal today. Holy crap. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Really, I don't know what to say. You guys are awesome. I truly appreciate all of the love and support. All right? I do. Thank you so much. Holy shit. Guys are awesome. Your name will now be up in the tip ticker. Thank you so much for that, Media. I appreciate it, dude. The mic arm, yeah. The mic arm is coming. It's in the mail. But yeah, as far as the gut thing goes, whatever you think is causing your anxiety, I can tell you right now, it's not the feelings that are the horrible part. It's not the fear and the true suffering is coming from the mind game that you're playing. Start practicing being present. Start practicing not logging in, and you'll see that for yourself. I can tell you all day long, but the best realization you're going to make is when you see that for yourself. Is when you see that for yourself. Am I spending money somehow? No. No, you're not spending any money. The names the names that are scrolling atop across the top of the screen are people that have supported and donated to the stream. That's not money that's being sucked out of your bank account. Don't worry. No PO box yet, man. I keep forgetting. To be honest, like as soon as I end the stream, I don't think about a PO box again. Trying to donate, but I just can't figure it out. If you got PayPal, you can go directly through PayPal. The address is shorter1993 at live.com. If you'd like to donate through the link, which gives you the fancy little notification on the screen, you can go through it's the first link after you close out the live chat. Yeah, it's another Blake. We've got multiple Blakes in the stream. I promise money is not coming out of your account. That's just a tip ticker. It shows the names and the amounts that people have donated to the stream, is all that is. Watching the streams, watching the videos is completely free. Donating is optional, but watching is completely free. Trying to donate. Just put a pizza in the oven. Nice. I ordered food. I'm waiting. Can anxiety make memory issues? Like sometimes I don't remember what I did before. Short-term memory loss is very common with severe anxiety, yes. Very common. It's nothing to worry about. No anxiety symptoms are anything to worry about. Nothing bad's going to happen. And that's very straight and to the point, but I understand how that just doesn't seem feasible. Like when you're in that anxious moment, your mind is going 1,000 miles an hour, right? So for me to say nothing bad's going to happen to you, yeah, that's great and everything, but you've got to stop playing that mind game. You've got to stop playing that mind game. I can reassure you all day long, but if you're still playing the mind game, you're still going to continue to experience that unneeded stress. Yes, this is definitely going to be uploaded. Also, guys, if you choose to donate through the link, it'll take you to Streamlabs, which is just a middleman. If you choose to donate through the link, keep in mind, don't use one of the pro gifts. If you use a pro gift, you sign up for their premium service or whatever. You don't have to do that. You can just use it for free. It'll only sign you up for the premium Streamlabs thing if you use one of their pro gifts. Just type in the amount. Don't worry about a GIF. You don't need to send a GIF with it. And if you accidentally do that, you can cancel it through their website. But it's not much. It's a couple bucks a month. But I don't want people to do that and think that money's going to me. No, if you accidentally sign up for their pro service on Streamlabs, that money's going to them, not me. Not me. So just don't use a GIF, and that won't happen. You can see it; it tells you, but a lot of people click through too fast and they don't read it. How's the Minecraft? I need to do a Minecraft stream. I need to do a Minecraft stream. We might do that later. It can seem that way, media, especially when you're in the throw of things. But my advice will always be accept the feelings, okay? Accept the thoughts, and just quit getting involved with any of it. Stay rooted in the now. Stay focused on what you're doing now, and you'll realize that the mind game that you're playing is the true source of your suffering. The true source of your suffering. Hey man, thank you guys again so much. All my donators today, Media Kate, Will, Sanchez. Thank you guys so much, dude. I'm getting closer and closer to being able to afford this surgery for my mom's teeth. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I've actually got a savings account open just for that, and you guys just helped me tremendously today. John went directly through the PayPal with a $40 dono. Thank you so much, dude. Holy shit. You guys are awesome. You guys are fucking awesome. I don't even, where are we at? Did I already add his 20, right? Thank you so much, John. I appreciate you, bro. Seriously. That's awesome. Holy crap. Let's see. Wow, thank you guys so much, dude. My mom's been wanting to get this done for a while, to get work done on her mouth, and she hasn't been able to afford to, so I told her, go ahead, call, make the appointment like for next month, and I'll do what I can. And holy shit, you guys have helped me do that. I appreciate that, man. I'm so close. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for that. Did you have a moment when you got down, not following the thoughts? Did they get louder after a week or two? I mean, if you slip back into entertaining negative thoughts, yes, they get stronger. As long as you're entertaining and giving them the fuel they need, they become stronger. But you can go right back into practicing the two main keys. At any moment, you can go right back into practicing the two main keys. Yes, Jess, and I have several videos on that if you want to look that up. But hold on, we got a message we need to approve. Here we go. But understand that your main true source of suffering is your fear of the symptoms. And the fear of the symptoms is coming from the thoughts that you entertain. It's coming from the mind game that you're playing. So you could think that you're afraid of Walmart. You could think that you're afraid of large crowds. You can think that you're afraid of social gatherings. Same thing. You could think that you're afraid of all these different things. But at the end of the day, what is your true fear? At the end of the day, your true fear is the anxiety symptoms. You tackle that, and all these other things no longer become a problem, right? You tackle your fear of the anxiety symptoms by using the two main keys and by not playing the mind game, giving your nerves a break, and you heal. And you understand that all these things that you thought you feared, at the end of the day, you truly feared the symptoms. That's what your true fear is. And you fear the symptoms because you continue to play this mind game, right? That's why you fear these symptoms, because of the mind, because of what you're entertaining in your mind. I feel like a bitch who came to here to cry his issues out, but yeah, sorry for that. I just needed an answer, so I want to say something positive now. We will make it. Hey, you're not a bitch for asking questions, dude. We all need guidance from time to time. It took me a while to get the hang of acceptance. I was not good at this once upon a time, believe it or not. All right, so you're definitely not a bitch. All right, I can tell you that. Wonder Bro, what a good son you are. I appreciate that, dude. I just wanted to help her out. I wanted to help her out, so, and you guys have helped me out a ton in order to get to that goal, and I really appreciate it. I'm actually transferring 50 bucks into my savings account right now to go towards that for her, so thank you. I appreciate that so much. Right here. Boom. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Counting the x-ray and the actual operation, it's $415. I've got 300 put back in savings for it. So I am so thankful that I'll be able to go to her and be like, "Look, we're close. I'm going to be able to make this happen for you." And it's all because of you guys. I wouldn't have been able to do that otherwise. So thank you so much. Just know that your donations, they help me out a ton, whether it's just helping me survive and put food in my stomach, or doing things like this, like helping my mom. They help me out a ton. They always go to a good cause. So thank you so much for that. You guys are awesome. I don't know what I would do without you. It almost makes me emotional. In fact, if I would let it, it probably would make me emotional. So, I just don't care as much anymore, and that's awesome. That's a point that you need to get to. I burped, and you get to that point of not really caring as much anymore when you realize just how much the mind game that you've been playing is contributing to your fear. Because fear is always based on that mind game that you're playing, not so much on the symptoms. So when you stop playing that mind game, you truly start to realize just how much your fear was based on what might happen next. And as long as it's based on what might happen next, it's always based on something that's not happening, right? I wish I could help you, Wonder Bro. No, please do not feel obligated to donate. Do not feel obligated to donate. When I go on my spills and I thank my donators for what they do, that has nothing to do with wanting other people to donate. Okay, that has nothing to do with that. If you can't donate, I truly understand that. I get it. I know the struggle. Believe me. All right? If you can't donate, that's fine. Please do not feel obligated. Just by being here and watching my videos and liking my video, that's enough. That's enough. You do enough for me right there, and I'm truly appreciative of that. No, that's not possible, Will. Not possible. Fear is I can't lift heavy things. Is that anxiety? I mean, it could be, right? Anytime we entertain fears, it's a mind thing. It's a mind game. I wonder if she actually has it or is making it up to win a case. I mean, to say that you're agoraphobic does not mean that you're homebound, housebound. It just means that you don't like to be out in large crowds. It just means that you tend to avoid large crowds of people. I mean, it can mean that. It can mean that you're housebound, but it doesn't have to mean that. That would be a severe case. Better turn my phone on so I can actually hear when my food gets here. I'm starving, chat. I am starving. How long did it take you to recover from sensitization? I want to say a full year, but that doesn't mean it took me a full year to reach a place of comfort or relief. Relief actually comes on rather quickly as soon as you begin applying the two main keys. I say a full year for 100%, but relief actually comes on a lot sooner than that. A lot sooner than that, as soon as you stop playing these mind games. It comes on a lot sooner than that. But it's different for everybody. No two cases are really the same, so a lot of people don't know that. They hear agoraphobia and they automatically assume it's the worst case of agoraphobia. It doesn't always have to be the worst case. A lot of times, agoraphobia in the dictionary actually means a fear of a large group, a large group of people or a large gathering. That's what the technical term means. So, a lot of people don't know that. But I like to stress the fact that it's not these little specific fears that you actually fear. What your main fear is, what your root fear is, the fear of the feelings. That is your main fear. You don't actually fear all these other things. Anybody can do it, guys. Anybody can do it. Anybody can heal. You really have to understand deeply on a deep level how much this mind game is contributing to your fear and how much your fear is always based on something that might happen next and is not happening now. And you have to log out and stop playing that mind game because that's where all the second fear is born, right? What are we eating? You guys know I love my chicken and cheese hoagies. You know that. Found you yesterday, applied what you said, and I had the best day I've had in weeks. Been harder today. Thank you for your videos. That is awesome. Congrats on starting your journey towards recovery. Proud of you. Proud of you. Proud of you. It's not so much about tackling your specific fears that you think you have. It's about stepping out of that mind game and realizing that the true source of your suffering was that mind game that you continue to play, right? And then everything else kind of falls into place. So it's not so much about, we don't want you to overwhelm yourself with tackling this fear and that fear and this fear. No, we just want you to understand fear as a whole and how that works with the mind and the game that you've been playing. That's what we want you to understand. We want you to understand fear as a whole instead of overwhelming yourself. Jesse, what's up, dude? You're crazy, man. You crazy. I love Jesse. I love Jesse. He's such a cool guy. It's awesome, Edward. Hey, you got this, man. You got this. You got this. Ad. Imagine having your ad skipped. I wish we could play copyrighted music. I wish we could play copy. That would be so much fun. How do I convince myself I'm fine, Wonder Bro? It's not so much about convincing yourself that you're fine. It's about stop playing the mind game to begin with, right? Because as soon as you log into that mind that says this and that and this and that and this and that, and you start to give it intention and fuel, you start to spiral out of control. So instead of trying to convince yourself that you're fine, just stop playing that game to begin with, right? Stay in the moment. Stay here. Allow yourself to feel what you feel. Allow the thoughts to come. Don't log in. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the stream. How you doing? Hey Wonder Bro, have you ever visited Eckhart Tolle's lectures? Like on YouTube, or actually went to one of his lectures? I'm a huge fan of Eckhart Tolle. I'm a huge fan. I've never actually been to one of his lectures, but I'm a huge fan of Tolle. I'm a huge fan of Moji. I'm a huge fan of Sad Age Guru. I'm a huge fan of Alan Watts. These are some of my favorite guides. Gotta stretch and flex and show off the muscles a bit. Fan of Tupac? I like a little bit of Tupac. I like Biggie as well. Between the two, I'm probably a bigger fan of Biggie. Favorite rapper though, right here. Favorite rapper, Kevin Gates. Love me some Kevin Gates. What a good stream, man. What a good stream. Media, Kate, Will, John, Sanchez, thank you guys so much for your contributions today. I truly appreciate it. Hey, don't worry about it, man. If you can't donate, you can't donate. It's not a problem. It's never been a problem. I'm here for everybody. Doesn't matter if you can donate or not. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Great stream. Glad you think so, Chi J. Glad you're here. Tell me to go to bed. It's 3 a.m. Jess, go the fuck to sleep. Wonder Bro, in your live streams, can you use more scenarios to better understand what to do in that moment or practicing your fears? Thanks. So, in all scenarios, the key is to be in the moment, right? Because the mind is what's making any scenario or any feeling into a problem. That applies to morning anxiety. I see a comment about that. That applies to morning anxiety. That applies to whatever situation you find yourself in, whatever feeling you're currently experiencing, to unplug from the mind game, because it's the mind game that's making the feeling or the situation into a problem, right? Doesn't matter so much what the situation or feeling is. And that's what I really like people to understand. Let's not overcomplicate it. Let's not break it down into I feel this way or I feel that way. Let's not break it down into I have fear in this situation or that situation. Let's not break it all down into these little categories. Let's just understand fear as a whole. Is this my food? This might be my food. That is my food delivery. So I'm going to go grab that, eat, because I'm absolutely starving. Thank you so much for an awesome stream. I hope you enjoyed your time here. Yeah, just thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being who you are, and understand that anybody can heal. All right. Let's understand fear and let's vacate fear. All right, you guys. Ooh, right there. Stay.